Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining today. My name is Melissa, and I am here to lead you through all levels yoga. So we will practice together for 45 minutes. Just a reminder to listen to your body. If any stretches do not work for you, you can always skip them, come on out and modify. And things that you'll need for your practice today is it can be nice to have a yoga mat. You may want to have a yoga block or a blanket close by to gently support you through the practice. If you don't have those, that's okay. You can just kind of flow through the practice without them. They're just there to give a little bit of support. And as we practice today, we are going to work with a nice full body stretch. So this flow is really great for releasing tension and those common areas where we hold tension, maybe those shoulders and low back, hips and legs, wrist, shoulders. So we're just going to do a nice full body release and stretch. So let's hop in, and we are going to start in seated. So we will take a nice comfortable seated position here. And maybe give yourself a moment to close your eyes and to drop into your breath in your body. And then as we center here, just simply observing your connection to the mat. So feel the edges of legs, the edges of the feet, grounding and connecting down. Lengthening your spine, lengthening the back of your neck, and reaching and stretching through the crown of the head. Feel yourself connect to the rise and the fall of your breath. And we'll take a moment to work with a breath called the Durga breath, the 3-part yogic breath. And this is a nice breath for relaxation. It's also a deep diaphragmatic breath as well. So we're really going to work on expanding the stomach and the ribs and the chest and contracting. And this breath brings so many benefits, great for relaxation, calming the mind and the body. But as we deeply breathe these deep diaphragmatic breaths, it can also create a little bit of a massage for the internal organs and the digestive system. So there's a lot of benefits to this one. So let's begin by gently closing the eyes and taking a nice deep full breath into your stomach. So we'll feel our navel rising as you inhale, and then feeling the navel falling as you exhale. Let's take a nice deep full breath right back into the stomach. So let's breathe into that expansion of the stomach and then the contraction of the stomach. Breathe deeply into your stomach and breathe into the ribs. So we'll feel an expansion of the ribs as you inhale and a contraction of the ribs as you exhale. Again, to the ribs. Breathe so deeply into the ribs. Nice expansion here. Contraction as you exhale. And now let's breathe to our chest. So we want to carry our breath from our stomach, our ribs, and right to the collarbones. As you inhale, feel your chest rise. As you exhale, feel your chest fall. Let's try that again. Inhale, feel the chest rising. Maybe feel the collarbones rising with the breath. And then on exhale, feel this contraction. Maybe feel those collarbones soften a little bit. And carry your breath with you through the practice today. So our breath is really there to support us. If the mind wanders, we can bring it back to the breath. And the breath can help us in postures to link breath and movement. So such a wonderful tool for us to have throughout our yoga class. Setting an intention, so a goal or a desire that you have for class. And that could be that you want to relax a little bit. Maybe if you're holding tension in a particular area, maybe it's to release a bit of tension. Let's begin with a gentle neck Release, taking your chin to your chest, lengthen the back of the neck. Right ear to the right shoulder. Let's bring ourselves into a little neck stretch here. Back on through to center. Let's take our chin to our chest and then release your left ear to the left shoulder. And back to center. And begin to circle the head. So maybe find large circles and maybe find smaller circles. Let's begin to circle in the other direction. And as you circle this way, just noticing, maybe it feels more natural to circle this way. It might feel a little unnatural to circle this way. Coming into stillness here. Let's take our right hand to our left leg so that arm will cross your body. Bring your left arm up and over. Let's bring ourselves into a side stretch. And roll the left shoulder back a little bit. Let's try to feel that right shoulder rolling under a little bit and just feel that the heart is shining to the sky. Coming back to center. Let's cross the arms. So left hand to your right leg and chin to your chest on exhale. Round your back. And then really rounding here, imagining creating space between the shoulder blades. Left hand stays where it is, right hand up and over, breathing here. And taking very deep breaths. So as we breathe, we can create a little bit of space in between the ribs. We can really give a nice stretch. We have all these little muscles between the ribs, intercostal muscles. So with our breath, we can stretch those out. Let's come on up, right hand to your left leg. So arms are crossed in the opposite direction this time. And chin to your chest, breathing out. And release. Let's take a neutral spine, hands to the sky, breathe in. Hands at the heart, breathe out. Let's come on forward into tabletop. So as you come to table, feel free to grab a blanket if you wanted to pad your knees a little bit here. We'll take our knees, our hips in line, and wrists and shoulders in one line. We are going to take a really nice flow for our shoulders and our neck. This one is called Thread the Needle. And we are just going to kind of move with our breath for a moment to really connect with our body. So table, knees in line with hips and wrists in line with your shoulders. Right hand to the sky. Breathe so deeply here. And take the arm underneath your body and maybe gently relax your head down for a moment. So we're just going to get this nice neck and shoulder stretch. Now right hand to the sky. Breathe in, full breath in, reach up and stretch up. And release. We're going to float that arm under. And rise. Let's try 3 more times here with the breath. So each time just linking breath and linking movement here. Good. Let's take a moment to pause. We can gently relax that arm down and just kind of relaxing the head down here as well. And as you're here, you can stay here. There's a bunch of different options as well. So one option is your toes can be curled under, your toes can be on the mat, and your leg can be straight. Maybe lift your leg up. And then whether that leg is lifted or maybe it's right where we started, you could always take your left hand to the sky also. And there's a variation where you take your hand to meet the foot. So you can come into a little bind here and create a little sensation of kicking the foot into the hand. Create a little back bend. We are going to unwrap nice and slow. Left knee down, left hand down. Let's take that right hand to the sky and circle that arm out a little bit. So maybe finding large circles or maybe finding smaller circles here. flow in the other direction. And release. Let's take ourselves back into table. Lower your stomach down. We are going to lift up through our heart, and tailbone will lower and crown of the head will lower. Let's flow through a cat and a dog stretch for a moment. Lengthen your spine as you inhale. Lengthen your spine as you exhale. As you inhale, let your shoulders relax from your ears. We will create a little space here between the ears and the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades moving down your back. And then on the exhale, round your back. Imagine creating space between the shoulder blades. Neutral spine here. Let's take that left hand up. Nice full breath in. We're going to try the shoulder stretch on the other side. Let's relax that hand down. Head relaxes, shoulder relaxes. Hand to the sky, breathe in. And release, lower down. And 3 more times. Relaxing yourself down. Let's relax the side of the head down and pausing here. So make sure that the palm of your left hand is facing up. So that's going to be a gentler rotation in your shoulder. And stay here. Breathe into your shoulder stretch. Maybe straighten the right leg out. So toes can be on the ground. Maybe lift up your leg. Maybe hand rises up as well. Hand for the foot if you'd like. Try out a bind. Create a little sensation of kicking the foot into the hand to give yourself a bit of a back bend here. Coming on out, nice and slow. Knee down, hand dog. Left hand up to the sky. And circle it out. Large circles or small. Reverse. And reset. Let's take it to tabletop and then back on through into a child's pose. Hips down towards the heels. And just feel the heart softening down with the breath. And then as you're settling here, just see if you can let those hips come down towards the ground a little bit more. Good. Let's lift up into table. Take a breath here, down dog, exhale. And as you take down dog, shake it out a little bit. So maybe bend one knee, bend the other knee. Relax your head, yes. Relax your head now. So if the hamstrings, if the calves are feeling really tight on this one, have a deep bend in the knees just to give yourself a bit of support on this one. Let's come on through into plank. Knees can always lower for support. And Sphinx pose to start. Let's start with a gentle back bend. So reverse push up down to the mat. Hands come out in front. Elbows in line with shoulders. Reach for opposite arms here. Breathe into your low back bend. Staying here, lifting up if you'd like. You can have a bend in those elbows. Wrap your elbows in towards one another. Arms can straighten. Working with seal. Reach and stretch through the crown of the head. Lowering down to the mat. Full breath here. Press back. Downward facing dog. And float it forward into a forward fold. We call this one Uttanasana. And in forward fold, you can shake out the legs a little bit, maybe bending one knee and the other knee. Relax your head, yes, and relax your head, no. As you find stillness here, let's draw the hands to the right, land in a side stretch. Try to ground evenly through both of your feet, inside and outside of each foot. Back to center, hands to the other side. Reaching and stretching from the waist, lengthen the side body, the arm, and the fingertips. Back on through to center to a forward fold. Half lift here, lift your spine, lengthen your spine. Fold yourself down, come on up, we'll rise to mountain, and hands at the heart as you exhale. Let's take our hands to the sky. This time, let's take our fingers interlocking, palms touch, and then release the index fingers. This is steeple hands. Lengthen, shift to the right and the left. We'll wiggle in the waist here a bit. And each time, try to reach and stretch up and out of the waist a little bit more. See if you can move a little deeper into the stretch. Let's take the hands to the right. We will pause here. Almost create a little bit of a sensation like that right hand can pull your left hand into the right side of the room. So just guiding you a bit deeper here. Float it back to neutral. Realign. Let's lengthen. Hands to the left. Feel that left hand pulling your right hand to the left side of the room. Rolling that right shoulder back, left shoulders under slightly. Let's float ourselves back to center. Take your hands behind your body. We'll try a yoga mudra stretch. So fingers interlock, palms touch, or maybe square off the wrists. Imagine squeezing a pencil between the shoulder blades. Lengthen and fold down as you exhale. Arms can run along your back. Maybe release your arms away from your back body. Maybe bend deeply into the knees if you need that support of the hamstrings. Try to relax the fronts of your shoulders here. And release your hands onto the low back. Hands can float down towards the ground. Let's bring ourselves to a half lift. Forward folds. Come on up. Rising mountain. Hands at the heart. Breathe out. Let's come into a pose called Dancing Shiva. So for this one, fingers will interlock. Gently support the right knee. So you can pull that knee into your body a little bit. Find your drishti. So anytime we work with our balance poses, we want to find that one spot to focus concentration and to focus awareness. Right knee can float off towards the right. Get a nice inner leg stretch here. Left hand to the left if you'd like. Maybe take the index and your thumb to touch for a mudra. Gaze off your left shoulder, left fingertips as well. And just see if that gives you a little bit more stretch. Come back through to center. So you can take your knee into your chest, hug it in, take your left knee to the right, or your right knee to the left rather. And then right hand to the right. Now on this one, maybe take your hip joint and try to roll it down a little bit. See if that will give you an IT band stretch. And you can gaze off your right fingertips, maybe have the pads of your index and your thumb touching. This is a Chin Mudra, Yana Mudra. Let's bring it back to center. We can take our knee to our chest, hug it in. Right foot meets our left foot, and we'll try on the other side. Left leg rises when you're ready. Hugging this one in. So this pose is so good for strengthening your right leg. We are strengthening all the muscles through the knee, through the ankle, through the foot, those small muscles, but then we also strengthen our big muscles. I can feel my calf working. I can feel my quad working. So it's always so important to work with our balance. Left knee to the left, let's open it up. Inner leg stretch, hip stretch, and so good for your low back. Maybe that mudra. Gaze off your right fingertip. So this mudra, Chin Mudra, this is a mudra that is good for channeling concentration, creativity, also good for calming the mind, calming the body. Knee can float through center, hug it into your chest, left knee to the right, left hand to the left, index and thumb come together, gently rolling this left hip down to get that IT band stretch. Good. Let's float it back to center. Knee to your chest, hug it in. Left foot meets right. Feet a bit wider than hips. Let's take arms side to side, empty coat sleeve stretch. So it's always really important to work with our balance. They say as time goes on, our balance gets a little worse. And, with yoga, we can really help to stay in the space that we're in, maybe improve the balance, really strengthen all of those muscles. So always really important. Good. Let's come to stillness here. We're going to try out chair. So feet are in line with your hips and drop your hips back and down. So when we say feet in line with hips, we want to think feet in line with our hip joints, not the outsides of the hips. So sometimes they say 2 fist distance tends to be an average distance here. So if you draw the 2 fists together, and that can be a nice alignment for your heels that are in line with your hips. Let's take our right leg up and over and right arm under for eagle stretch. We'll try Garudasana. So toes can be on the ground, leg is lifted for a half wrap, and maybe try for a full wrap here. Right arm under. Reach for opposite shoulders. Press the backs of your hands together. Arms can wrap up and hands can wrap up. And imagine creating a line that flows through your body. So you're going to have this line flowing from our toes to our knees, to the elbows, and to the fingertips. So this long line of energy flowing through your body. Let's unwrap, and we're going to come into a crescent warrior. So we'll take our right foot back, hands to the sky, breathing in. So crescent, also called high lunge. So we want to be right on the toes of our right foot so that the majority of your foot is lifted. And really activate that back leg. So try to press nice and firmly through the heel and the back of the knee. Let's spring off that right foot. Fingers will interlock, reach for the front of your knee, and we're going to take a standing Pavamutasana stretch. So we are just interlocking our fingers, pulling that knee into your chest and into your stomach, trying to use quite a bit of arm strength and shoulder strength here to really give that nice stretch into your hip joint. Let's release the foot back for a warrior 1 pose. So a little different from crescent because our back heel is grounded down. Press firmly into the outer edge of your back foot. Have a nice deep bend in your front knee. But one thing that's very important is make sure that your knee doesn't come past your ankle too much. So if that's happening, you can just hop more distance between your front foot and your back foot. We always want to have that front knee in line with our ankle. That'll help to keep the knee nice and safe. Let's bring our hands into steeple. So fingers interlock, release index. Let's lengthen. And we are going to try a side body stretch. So if I was facing you, we're just going to take those hands to the other side. So try to square your hips and your shoulders forward. Take your hands to the right. Maybe you feel that right hand almost pulling your left hand to the right side of the room. Come back to center. Let's breathe here. Lengthen and release to the left. Feel that left hand pulling your right hand off towards the left. Back to center. Reset to warrior 1. Open for warrior 2. Line your front heel with your back arch. Allow for your shoulders to be over your hips. Feel yourself reach forward and back here. Arms are very active. Feel fingertips super active in one line. Let's take reverse, float it up and float it back. Backhand glides on your back leg. Maybe wrap your arm around your low back. Reach for the other hip crease. Take a half bind here. Core engages. Come on through. Lateral angle. And staying here, maybe lowering that hand down for extended lateral angle. And just trying not to collapse here into the bottom shoulder. Try to create a little lifting here, a little bit of lengthening here. Core engages, rise on up. Straighten your front leg, front hand up and back. Reverse triangle stretch. Breathe so deeply here. Really expand your lungs and expand your ribs. Come up to neutral. Hips will go back. Hands will reach and stretch forward. Almost imagine that there was an island in the kitchen that you wanted to reach and stretch over. Once you can't reach any further, let's bring that hand down. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Imagine your body in between 2 panes of glass. We want to feel our body in one straight line. Balancing half moon if you'd like to go there. So feel free to hang out here. This is working for you. Right foot hops forward. Left hand comes forward. Pressing a little bit of weight into that left hand, right leg rises up. Flex your right foot so that your right toes are pointing off to the right side of the room. Then try to stack and open your hips to the right side of the room as well. Try to feel your hips stacking and opening and shoulders stacking and opening. Hang out here. Hand for foot if you'd like. Try out the bind. Let's try sugar cane here. Create a little bit of a sensation of kicking the foot into the hand. Give yourself that back bend. Give yourself that quad stretch. Let's foot ourselves back. Warrior two pose. Take a minute to realign your feet. Try to feel that your shoulders and your hips are squaring to the right side of the room so you can get this nice opening in the front of your body. Windmill the hands to the earth. Let's float it to runner's lunge. Left foot to the left edge of the mat. Both of the hands to the inside of your foot. Right foot takes a big step forward. Upper right edge of the mat. Landing in a fold with your legs wide. Staying here. Option to try out yogi squat pose. For yogi squat, take the feet out wider. Sometimes the wider the feet, the easier the stretch can be. Have your toes pointing out so that they're in the same direction as your knees. Try to bring your weight back into your heels, let your toes be light, and almost create a little feeling like those toes could lift from the mat. Let's bring ourselves into a fold. Plant your hands, straighten the backs of the legs. Feet in line with your hips. Half lift here, forward fold. Rise to mountain, ground through your feet as you rise to the sky. Hands at your heart as you exhale. Let's try chair pose again. Utkatasana, drop the hips back and down. Weight in your heels, toes are light, and maybe gaze down. Make sure that you can see the tips of your toes. We don't want our knees to come too far forward here. Left leg up and over, left arm under. We'll take our eagle wrap. Feel very grounded in your right foot. Almost imagine that you could press very evenly through the inside and the outside of each foot with that nice grounded sensation here. If you'd like to invite some more challenge, elbows to the knees, take eagle to the nest. Unwrap, eagle, and we're gonna float ourselves back into that crescent warrior. So just float that left foot back. Think back to our breathing exercise at the beginning of class today. Durga, 3-part breath. So let's breathe, expand your stomach, expand your ribs, and expand through the chest. So that deep diaphragmatic breath that brings us so many positive and healing benefits. Spring off your left foot. Let's bring it through into standing Pavamutasana. Interlocking fingers. Pull that knee to your chest. Try to relax your shoulders from the ears. Something that's so common is as we're pulling that knee in, we can kind of scrunch those shoulders up. So try to relax your shoulders back and down. Release. Let's sweep that foot back. Warrior one pose. Virabhadrasana Eka. Deep bend in the front knee. Hands to the sky. Ground really firmly in that back foot. And try to feel that the back leg is very active. So we want to press firmly through the heel and the back of the knee. Let's try a side stretch for the spine. Fingers interlock, release index for steeple. Lengthen, let's draw our hands to the left to start. Almost feel like that left hand could pull your right hand to the left side of the room. Float yourself back to neutral. Realign and lengthen. Release your hands off towards the right. Try to square your hips and your shoulders forward on this one. Back to neutral. Full breath. Exhale, warrior two. Front heel lines up with back arch. Shoulders over hips. Hands reach forward and back. And the feet won't actually move, but almost create a little sensation like you could pull your feet in towards one another. So we just want to feel that our legs are very active, engaged, and energized. Reverse, bring it up and back, peaceful warrior. Make sure that the palm of your right hand is facing down towards the ground or to the back of the room. That's going to be a nice safe rotation for your shoulder. Windmill through, let's take it down to a lateral angle. Maybe try out extended lateral angle if you'd like, where the hand can lower down to your mat or to a block. And we have a few options with our top hand. So one option is to have your palm facing forward. Arm can frame your ear, let your palm face down. You can also wrap your arm around your low back and take a half bind as well. Core engages, rise up, straighten your front leg, front hand up and back. Reverse triangle stretch. Again, palm faces to the back of the room and then faces down towards the earth. Up to neutral, hips go back, hands reach and stretch forward. Imagine that you could stretch over that countertop. Hand comes down, triangle. Breathing here. Let's feel our body stack and open. So we want to feel that our shoulders are in line, wrists in one line, and then this long line of energy, fingertips to fingertips. Hang out here, bring it through, balancing half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Flexing your foot, and maybe peek down to your right foot. So sometimes as we're concentrating, right toes can turn into the center of the mat a little bit. So try to have that foot nice and straight with the edge of your yoga mat to give you that nice alignment here for your knee and your hip. Left hand for left foot, float it into your bind. This one is sugar cane. Create a little sensation of kicking the foot to the hand. Give yourself a back bend. Give yourself a hip flexor and a psoas stretch as well. Back on through. Warrior two, let's reset it. Windmill the hands to the earth. Bring yourself to a runner's lunge. Right foot walks to the right, both of the hands to the inside of your foot. Left foot takes that nice big step forward. Fold with your legs wide. Stay here. Option for squat pose if you'd like, Malasana Garland's pose. So if this one is feeling a bit intense and you wanted to try to support your body with props, maybe grab a block and you can sit on your block. Maybe have a blanket, have that rolled up and put that underneath your heels. Let's split ourselves forward into a fold. Draw your feet in line with your hips. Forward fold. Let's step ourselves into plank. High push-up pose. Knees can be up or down, whichever you prefer. Either high plank or knee down plank. Let's take an up dog here. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Let's breathe here into that nice low back bend. Down dog, breathe out. Knees will begin to lower. Tabletop. Sweep your feet to the right or the left. Let's try seated. And as you come into seated, let's try out a really nice leg and hip stretch. We're going to come into a seated pigeon pose. So for this one, take your left leg up and over, create a figure four stretch. Stay here. If you wanted more of a stretch, right knee will bend, and you can draw yourself into the leg a little bit. You can flex your foot and then encourage this left knee away from your face to give yourself a little bit more of a stretch. Now, if this is feeling easy and you wanted to make it a little bit more intense, we have our third option. Try to stack your heels in line with your knees. So knee in line with you, heel in line with me. So one thing people do that and it kind of makes it a little easier is they'll have their foot weigh in and they'll be like, oh, this pose is so easy. Or they'll have this bottom foot weigh in as well. And it just makes it a lot simpler, but it's not the right alignment. So what you can imagine is that your lower leg is parallel to the top of your yoga mat. So you just want it nice and straight and you can flex your foot. Then you're going to have this top foot on there as well. And you're also going to try to have it running straight. And this top knee might be lifted. So in time, we want to feel that our knees kind of soften and stack onto our heels a little bit. You can stay seated up. And there's a variation to fold forward if you'd like. So we have those three options. So whichever variation you're in, let's take a moment to close the eyes. Try to relax yourself into this moment. Try to relax your eyebrows, relax your jaw. Relax the back of your head and back of your neck. Relax your shoulders, arms, and hands. Relax the upper, mid, and low back. Relax your legs and relax your feet. Let's take ourselves up. Feet will come out nice and wide, maybe to the edges of your yoga mat. Drop your knees to the right and the left. We'll just do a nice little windshield wipe side to side. And to center, legs extend out in front. Right leg up and over this time. We're going to balance off the two sides of our body. Now stay here. Again, you could do a nice little fold forward. Left knee bends. Scoot yourself in. Again, you probably wouldn't be able to fold forward in this one, but you would just try to bring your hips into your heel as best as you can. Third option, lay down that lower leg. Try to have your lower leg lining up at the top of your yoga mat. Have your heel in line with knee in line with heel, sitting up straight, folding down if you want it. And whichever variations you're in, if you would like to flex your feet, that will just help to activate the legs a little bit more. And just let yourself melt here for a moment. Try to feel yourself connecting with your breath. Feel yourself breathing in and breathing out. Maybe notice on the side of your body if the stretch feels very similar to the first side that we worked on. It may feel very different one side to the next side. So the side might be more open, it might be a little bit more closed off. Not a good thing or a bad thing, it just is. It's really nice in yoga that we have this opportunity to connect with our body and have a little bit of inquiry with our body. Notice what muscles are more open, which muscles are a little more closed off, what side is more open, what side is more closed off. And that can be for many reasons. It may be a past injury. It could just be lifestyle. If we always grab our phone with one hand, or we always gaze off one shoulder to look to the phone, or we always take a step with one foot versus the other. So some of these movements, they seem so small, but when we do those so many times, they can create imprints in our bodies, and it just makes things a little imbalanced. And yoga is so great for creating balance, balancing the right side and the left side. Let's take our feet out nice and wide. Windshield with your knees to the left and to the right. Let's bring ourselves onto our backs from here. And we will wrap up that hip opener with a happy baby stretch. So reaching for your feet, flexing your feet, reach through your heels, take a rock to the right, and take a rock to the left. So as we're flowing here, really try to relax your low back down. And feel yourself breathe in and breathe out. Knees can come to your chest. Arms, hands around knees or shins. And let's do a gentle rock to the right and the left. And this movement can feel very soothing to our low back. So we have all of these little muscles and little attachments to bones. So this can just create a nice soothing feeling. Let's bring this movement side to side into circles. So maybe find large circles or maybe find smaller circles here. And then circle in the other direction. And then releasing. Let's take some time to relax. We'll come into Shavasana. And as we come into Shavasana, you can relax your body along the mat. So legs are relaxed, arms are relaxed. Maybe have your palms face up. This will give you a gentle rotation in the shoulders, and the hands are an expression of receiving. You can also have a gentle rotation of your feet coming out as well. So that's going to gently open up your hips. And maybe invite just for a moment a slight tuck of your chin that will help to find length in the back of your neck so that your head's not cranked too much. And you can also do a very gentle tuck of your tailbone, and that might feel a little bit more grounding in your back. Now, if this doesn't work for you and maybe the low back's a little cranky or those low back muscles are very tight, feel free to take your feet to the edges of your yoga mat and then let your knees come in towards one another. And this is an active rest and or a passive rest and a passive stretch. So you just get this nice gentle release. And then just give yourself this time and stillness to soak in all of the benefits of the yoga practice. Give yourself a moment to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Let's roll over to the side, coming into a fetal position for a moment. Maybe create a pillow with the lower arm. Gently support the head. Feel your body taking the shape of the posture. Making your way into seated when you're ready. And then as you come into seated, if you wanted to sit on a block or a blanket, you can always do that. That just helps to lift the hips a little higher than the knees, which can give a nice gentle rotation to the hips, can take some pressure off of the knees. It can also help to keep the spine a little straighter as well. Hands can move into the heart in prayer. Let's end our time together with gratitude. Take a moment to think of something in your life that you are grateful for. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so happy to be here with you to share yoga with you. I hope you feel better after our practice today, and I hope you have a wonderful day today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.